Hello, and welcome to the Social Studies Literacy Skills website, first module Google Skills 101. And I call this module Google Skills 101, but at heart, what it really is teaching you to formulate the best search terms you can when you're looking for information on the internet, whether that be Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever your preference is. But really, what we're talking about here are search terms and how to do the best possible search. Now, I know what you all are thinking. I know you're thinking, but wait, I know how to use Google. Everybody knows how to use Google. My grandmother, my little baby sister, everybody. And that's true. Everybody knows how to find out when their movie's playing or how to get to the restaurant what they want to go to. But what people don't do well or don't know how to do particularly well is use search terms that are going to expand their knowledge or help them find very valid, good resources for a research project. So that is at the heart of what we are trying to do today. And today, to meet that goal, I'm going to go through with you 6 different strategies we are going to try to use to get us the best Google result we can. So strategy number 1. That is to identify the key terms of the question or topic. I had an experience with this in class today. Most teenagers, or most of my students anyway, are in the habit of just copying and pasting a question into the search box. And that's what happened with this particular question in my class early this morning. A girl was trying to look up what some of the key events or victories of the environmentalist movement were, so sure enough, she put this whole thing into her search bar. And there is nothing wrong with that. She found some pretty good responses, only they were responses you have to sort through. So let's look at this for a second. So we will copy and paste the question right into the search bar so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so our first results, an episode of American Experience, PBS, it's great. But looking at that, she doesn't know that this is going to give her what she wants. And then she sees a timeline and she still wasn't sure that she would get what she wants. And then she doesn't know if she can trust Wikipedia. So while it got her results that would probably work for the assignment and results that are probably pretty decent, it wasn't what that student needed. And that's what's really important here. So then let's look at the question. And this is what I told her to do. Look at the question. What are the key terms to you in this question? My student did that, and she was able to find things that were much more easier for her to sort through and comprehend, right? So let's take this. Let's break it down. Let's take out all these worthless words that aren't serving us any purpose. And see what we might be able to get. 49 years of environmental victories in photos. Much better, especially since I've found a lot of my students prefer photo results to anything else. So the promise of photos here would probably be much more attractive to my student. She'd probably be much more likely to actually go through it, and she's going to find different results. Unfortunately, there's 50 of these slides, so that's going to be too much for the sort of basic understanding we want her to get. So let's look at some more strategies. So strategy number 2 says brainstorm and use associated words. So her keywords were events, victories, and environmentalist. So the next thing I'm going to ask my students to do are think of as many associated words as you can, whether they be synonyms or things that your prior search led you to. Think about as many of those as you can. And this is what my student came up with today: environmentalism, environmentalist, milestones, policies, laws, environment, and wins. This is going to help her get many more results. And I think with more sophisticated words like milestones and more specific words like policy and laws, she's going to start to get at the real meat of the research that's out there. Then comes strategy number 3. And in history class, I think this is probably the most important strategy. And that's to be using just unique terms whenever possible. I tell my kids, be short and be specific. If there is a name in your question, your topic, your clue, use the name. If there is a place, use that place name. If there's a specific date or time period, you should definitely be putting that in. And if there's domain-specific vocabulary, you need to use that. And that works with a lot of the sciences, including social science. So if there is vocabulary that's very specific to what you're studying, you need to use that. Then we have strategy number 4, when all else fails. I feel like this is what I do when I'm really starting to lose a little bit of hope, but play with the order of the words. Sometimes that's going to make a difference, especially if you're using words within quotation marks. That's going to make a huge difference, the order of the words. Things can mean different things depending on the order of words. Strategy 5 is one that I think is very hard for kids to think about, but you need to use context phrases. So by that, what I mean is you need to think about what type of information do I want, and how is that information normally represented. So in social studies, a lot of times we're talking about things like demographic information. So you might put in your search terms and the word survey, or the word data, or the word demographics. If you're looking at something in the realm of geography, you're going to want to put map in your search terms. You're going to want to ask for what you want. If you want to know about the way life was like in the early 1800s, maybe you should look up the word diary when you are searching for that. So use context phrases about the information you want. Finally, use special commands. Now this seems like something only people who are really advanced use. Even in this image from Google, it says advanced. But some of these things are really not that hard that most of us use, such as putting quotations around a set of words or an exact word if you need it. What I think would be super, super, super helpful in terms of social studies is using this dash here. I plan to try to use that a lot more. The example they give is search for Homer but not Simpson. So if you want Homer, the philosopher, but you keep getting results about Homer Simpson, you can just put that dash in there. And that's really important because I think we've all had that situation where we get super frustrated because we're looking up a thing that's too similar to another thing. Okay, I know we went through all these different commands really, really fast, but we're going to have time to practice them in the next activity. I hope that you find some of these strategies useful in your endeavor to becoming a better online researcher.